Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well, keeping safe and staying healthy. Okay, so today basically it's kind of like a continuation from the last class I did about memorabilia and souvenirs. Today I'm going to talk a bit more about Australia, but more specifically I want to talk to you about my hometown of Sydney. Yeah, I love this city. Let's get straight into it. Now, before I get in talk to you about Sydney itself, I'm just going to give you some facts about Australia as a whole, okay, as a country. Australia is an island continent located in the southern hemisphere. It lies between the Pacific and Indian Oceans and has a land area of over 7 million square meters. Huge. The climate in Australia ranges from tropical in the far north to temperate or cold in the south. Approximately one-third of Australia is desert. Because it is a geographically isolated country, Australia has many animals that are unique. Some of these are the kangaroos, koalas, emus, dingoes, and platypuses, just to name a few. The first people to come to Australia were the Aboriginals. It is believed that they arrived here around 60,000 years ago. In 1770, Captain Cook was the first European to land on the east coast to claim Australia for Britain. In January 26, 1788, Governor Phillip arrived in Port Jackson, which is now Sydney, to set up the first colony. Originally, it was a place for British prisoners where the Europeans came to stay. There were approximately 500,000 Aboriginal people living in Australia back then. The population of Australia reached 25.5 million in April of this year, 2020. And Sydney is the largest city with approximately 5.23 million people as of April 2020. Australia is a multicultural and multiracial society where people from over 200 countries have made Australia their home, including me. When tourists visit Australia, they can visit such places as the Great Barrier Reef off the Queensland coast, Sydney with its beautiful beaches, the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge, and numerous other places. Whether a visitor likes the country or city, there is much to see here in Australia. And there sure is lots and lots of things to do and see in Australia. But I'm not going to tell you too much about Australia as a whole because I'll be honest, I haven't seen all of Australia. I've seen most of it. I've been to basically all of the east coast of Australia, everywhere from like Queensland, Gold Coast, Brisbane, and heading down to New South Wales, which is another state. And lots of little cities and beautiful beaches all the way around there. As we go down, we will hit the biggest city of Australia, which is Sydney, my city, and I've been around all the way down to Victoria, which the capital city there is called Melbourne, and pretty much that's where I've been. I haven't actually been further down to Tasmania, or east, which is like Adelaide or the middle of Australia or above, but I have been to Perth, which is on the other side of Australia, the west side of Australia, and I have to say that's a very beautiful city as well. Alright, so one thing you need to, I guess, take into consideration when I'm speaking is the adverbs before adjectives, okay? Adverbs are like extremely, very, pretty, fairly, somewhat. And obviously the adjectives is the other words that describes the nouns. Alright, so moving on. What's Sydney like? Okay, very basic question. What is Sydney like? Well, it's a really, really nice city. It's a big city, but not too big though. It's beautiful and very clean, as you could expect. And it has a great harbour and beautiful beaches that I've been blessed to have been raised there and to have city basically as my playground. I actually lived very close to the city, so I could actually walk from my house to the city center, and pretty much everywhere around there. So yeah, I know Sydney like the back of my hand, as you could say. And it has amazing shopping, really does. You know, there's lots of places to go shopping, you know, from, you know, very expensive, you know, stuff, as you probably have here in like Ha'i or you know, Pondok Indah. But there's also, what they don't really have here is the factory outlets, which I love to go into because, you know, there I could buy, you know, lots of these designer labels and the latest fashions and the best quality products for a lot less or a lot cheaper than I would if I were, you know, than if you were to buy it at the, you know, the big shopping centers or in the city. I really miss going shopping at the factory outlets, you know, and it was actually located right next to a wharf and a bay, which was really nice. So you could always, you know, do your shopping and then have some lunch or a nice coffee after that, and enjoy the beautiful views that they have there. Talking about coffee, and that's another thing I really miss about Australia or Sydney. You know, they had some of the best coffee cafes I've ever been to, and it's actually really hard to find coffee like that, you know, in Indonesia. There's only a couple of places that I've been to that came close. One of them would be Monologue in Senayan, and you know, that's pretty good, probably as close as you can get, but still Sydney had the best cafes. And you know, the people are really friendly, or not really friendly, but they're pretty friendly, you know what I mean? So, you know, we could go to a cafe and, you know, you could go by yourself and order a coffee and sit down, and, you know, if there is somebody next to you or around you, you could easily start a conversation with those people and, you know, make new friends. Something that doesn't really happen here in Indonesia. I'm not too sure why, but yeah, I guess strangers don't like speaking to strangers here. It's a bit of a shame, but yeah. In Australia, it's very common practice. We do that all the time. We say hello to everybody, and you know, we even complete strangers. You know, we like talking to them and making new friends, and that's another thing I really miss about Sydney. Yeah. So next question: what can you do there? Well, there's lots of things you can do there. Fortunately, you know, there's, you know, first of all, the weather is gorgeous most of the time. We do have 4 seasons, so you know, when it's summer it gets quite hot, and when it's winter it gets pretty cold, and it even snows in some places. Not in Sydney, but a bit further south of Sydney, around Melbourne, Canberra. There's snow usually in winter, but yeah. Going back to Sydney, lots of things. You know, we have like the Botanical Gardens, which is right next to the Sydney Opera House, and next to that is the Harbour Bridge, which you can actually climb over, you know, and actually see the whole city from a completely new angle, and the harbour underneath you, beautiful. You can go fishing. Okay, lots of places to go fishing, and I don't mean like fishing in a swimming pool. I mean actually going fishing at the sea, or at the beach, or at the harbour. You know, pretty much anywhere we love to go fishing. You can even jump on a boat and start fishing. You can hire little boats there as well, little dinghies. Dinghy is basically a small aluminium boat, and it has a small motor at the back, so you can actually you don't have to row it and waste all your energy. But yeah, I've done that a few times, and yeah, caught some really nice fish. I wish I could show you some photos, but yeah, really nice. I caught a flathead once about this big, and yeah, that was about 1 kilogram fish. Flathead, and it's a very nice tasting fish. What else you can do? You can also go to Luna Park, which is like Ancol, but a lot smaller. But the rides are, you know, always fun to go on. They have, you know, roller coaster and the big Ferris wheel, and Lots of different rides and activities that you can do there, and it's always fun to bring the family and friends for a nice day out. What else? Botanical gardens, like I said, you can actually walk all the way around the harbour and see the botanical gardens. Now, the botanical gardens actually has really unique Australian native fauna or plants and trees that have been around for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. And you can feed birds and the animals that are around there. Animals aren't very shy in Australia because it's actually illegal for us to catch them. So they've become very accustomed to us feeding them, bread or whatever food we have left over, and they can come, basically take the food off your hand if you wanted to. If you just dangle it up like that, they'll actually take it off you, while they're flying. Really nice. What else? Really lots of things to see and do. Talking about cafes, restaurants are a big deal in Australia, and we're really lucky because it's such a multicultural society. You can basically taste different foods from all over the world. There's an African restaurant, there's Turkish restaurants, there's Lebanese restaurants, there's Chinese, Indonesian, you name it. Basically, if you wanted to taste a specific type of food from another country, you could find it in Australia. Thai food, and it's all really nice too. The ingredients that they use are all top class, and always fresh. So yeah, another great thing I miss about Sydney. Anyway, what's your favorite city? Can you tell me, or actually tell me a little? Can you explain a little bit about your city and what's different about your hometown, your city? Let us know. Have some practice. Hopefully, this video will help you to express those experiences that you've had in your hometown, and do some practice. Tell somebody about your hometown and what you like and maybe even don't like about it. Alright guys, until next time, take care, have a nice day, and stay well. See you later. Bye.